Welcome to Online Yin Yoga with Nita. I'm Nita, and today we're going to be doing a yummy flow for the spine. We're going to be working the spine and moving it in all different directions. For today, you're going to need, if you have them available, a couple blocks. If not, you can use some books to stack. If you have a bolster, that's really useful. If not, you can also grab a blanket and roll it over like a little burrito. And if you don't have any bolsters or anything like that, you can also just grab a couple pillows or cushions from your couch, from your bed, just to help yourself, give yourself some support. Okay. Find a comfortable seat, whether that's using a bolster or a cushion. You can seat cross-legged or on your heels. It might be nice to give your hips a bit of height to begin, and we're just going to start with a meditation before our practice, okay? So try to align pelvis, heart, and crown. And try to roll your shoulders down and back a few times. Try to release any tension that might be there right now. Roll it towards the back and then roll it towards the front. And start connecting with the breath, softening your gaze, or if it feels safe, close your eyes. You can place your hands on your lap. And start lengthening your breaths. Inhaling deep. And exhaling to let it all out. Feeling rooted on your mat, on the earth, or if you're in a cushion, feeling your sit bones on that cushion. And start connecting with your spine. So before we begin moving, start to look at your spine with some gentle curiosity. From the back of your skull, your cervical spine, going all the way down to your lower spine, and noticing how it feels today, how it's showing up today. Maybe you identify a couple spots that feel tense. A couple spots where there's some compression, maybe around the neck, maybe on your lower back. Maybe you even have some pain in your spine right now. And that's okay. Just notice that with compassion, with kindness. Without trying to change it. And of course, if you're in a position that you are in pain and you need to shift and move a little, that's welcome. But we're just trying to observe right now. We don't want you to be in any pain. So if at any point during the practice, there's an offering, an invitation, or a posture that doesn't feel okay for you, just remember that you can skip it, you can change it. Or you can just make adjustments to it. But for now, we're just noticing what's happening in the spine and what's happening in the body as we're connecting with the breath. And with each breath, we're trying to elongate the spine. We're trying to sit taller. And we're trying to find that connection, that root to rise connection. So rooting through the ground. and then rising through the crown of the head. Breathe. Observing any thoughts or sensations, feelings, emotions that might come up here. And just redirecting your focus to your breath. And as you notice your inhales and your exhales, without forcing too much, try to equal the inhale to the exhale. So if you're inhaling on 3, try to exhale on 3. Maybe it's 4, maybe it's 5, whatever your count is. Try to balance the inhales and the exhales to find samavriti, equal breathing, balanced breathing. Find your own number. Stick to it. Couple more breaths like that. Filling your belly with the inhale and letting the air come out like it's coming out from a balloon on the exhale. One more breath like that, inhaling. Beautiful. Now continue to breathe normally. Notice how you feel. And then set an intention for today, whether that's one word, a feeling, an action, an essence you want to embody. Bring that to your third eye and stay with it during the practice. Beautiful. All right, on the next breath, slowly start opening your eyes, fluttering your eyelashes. And we're gonna start with a reclined butterfly pose. So if you have a bolster or a blanket rolled, you can use it to put it behind your spine. If not, you can just lie on your back. But first, we're gonna find our base. So bring the soles of your feet together and open your legs like a butterfly. They can be as close or as far as you need to. And then you're gonna lie down on your back. If you want a bolster, you can place the bolster at the base of your spine or a rolled blanket. And then you're gonna lie down on top of that very carefully. Try to find the right spot for it to make sure that you're not hurting your lower back. It's sitting kind of right above the sacrum. And then your hands can be either resting like T-shape, cactus, or even just have them placed on your belly to breathe here. And remember, you can place blocks or other pillows under your knees if you need that support. And just stay here breathing, finding stillness in this reclined butterfly. This posture is beautiful because it is not only opening up the hips, but we're also reclining, right? And especially if we have a bolster or something under, it gives us a bit of a back bend and an opening of the heart here. Reconnect with the breath, finding stillness in the body, but then also stillness in the mind. Whatever that means to you. So stillness in the mind doesn't mean clearing the mind, or doesn't necessarily mean that. It means letting the noise, the overwhelming thoughts, sensations, the buzz kind of just fade in the background. So it's there, you're noticing it, you're observing it. You're not pushing it away or ignoring it. You're just focusing on the breath, focusing on this moment. And as you're finding stillness, continue to have that gentle curiosity. Continue to notice what's happening in your spine throughout these postures. And perhaps even notice what emotions might come up. Our hips harbor a lot of emotions. And sometimes when we're in hip openers, things might start coming alive here. So be gentle, be kind, be open if it feels safe. Mm. We have about a minute here, so if you need to make any adjustments, please do. And remember, we're trying to always look for that edge of sensation. We're starting with the first stopping point. So that means that first point where we feel the stretch, feel maybe some back bend, extension, compression, whatever it is happening in the posture, but we're not in pain. We're just finding that edge, and that edge that feels good for us, right? All right. Very slowly on the next breath, use your hands to help your legs come up. Be careful if you have a lot of props. And then try to lie on one side, especially if you were on top of a bolster or blanket. Remove the blanket or bolster away. And then help yourself come to a seat. Be mindful of the props and things around you. And then place your hands behind you, plant your feet, open your legs, and start doing some windshield wipers, okay? To kind of release that. And you can go as slow or as fast as you'd like. Maybe staying on one side, checking it out. The other side, opening the chest. Okay. And then we're going to come up and extend both legs. And then bring your right foot towards you. Okay, we're gonna do half straddle. So left leg is extended, right leg it's bent, and your right foot is towards you. Find a place where your sit bones are grounded. So you might need to move the fleshy bits of your bum away, or you can sit on a cushion if you need to kind of elevate your hips. And make sure your pelvis is tilted forward, okay? Remember, you can place something under your knee if you need to. Really take care of your knees here. And you can also keep a soft bend on your leg. Once your base is ready, inhale, bring your arms up. And then exhale, turning towards your left leg, your extended leg, and then forward fold towards that leg. So here it might be really nice to bring a blanket or a bolster to try to support your arms. Some people like just hugging the bolster. So whatever feels good for you right now. Yes. Let your head either dangle or you can use your hands to support your head. Some people like placing a block over the bolster. So you can create your own prop tower as long as it's safe. And breathe here. So here's a flexion of the spine happening as we're forward folding. You might also feel a bit of a stretch on the side body. Maybe some stretching on the hamstrings, the back of your extended leg, a bit of an opening on the hips. So there's a lot happening here in one moment. Breathing, always connecting with the breath. If your head is dangling, you can always move it around. And remember that while we're in stillness, there's also movement. There's movement and stillness. Where even when our bodies are in a still position, oxygen is flowing, the blood is circulating, energy is rising and rooting. So there's a lot going on, even when we're in stillness. And the goal of the practice, or one of the goals of the practice, is to connect with your inner wisdom, with your body, with your breath, with your mind in a way that you're listening to what it needs, okay? Maybe this is what you needed today and you didn't know it. You just showed up because you're like, okay, I'm just gonna do yoga. Maybe you needed to stretch spine. Maybe you just needed a moment for yourself. Maybe you just needed a breath. Take what you need. Couple more breaths here. Inhaling deep. Exhaling to let it all out. Inhaling love in. Exhaling love out. All right, on the next breath, start coming up very slowly. Ooh. Remove the prop if you had something over your leg. Remove the block. And then you're going to bring that extended leg, bend your knee, and plant the foot kind of over that right leg. If it's available. It's not, you can just place it in front of you. But basically, we're going to go into a seated twist. Okay. So bottom leg is bent. Front leg is also bent over that leg. Inhale. Exhale and twist towards the left side. So towards that bent leg. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to twist. Try not to force the twist. Try to twist from the spine, not forcing it through the shoulders. One more breath. Inhale, arms back up. Exhale, twist towards the right side. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to twist. And you can look towards that right shoulder, that back shoulder for a deeper twist. Inhale back to center. Exhale, bring your hands down. And now let's find half straddle on the other side. So extend your legs first. Find your sit bones. And then bring the left foot in this time. And keep your right leg extended, okay? So again, check in. Maybe a block feels nice under the knee. Maybe a bolster is gonna feel nice for the forward fold, so have it handy. Sometimes I like placing it horizontally or sometimes vertically. It depends on what I'm looking for. Inhale, sweep arms up. Exhale to fold over that right leg. So the horizontal bolster is very nice for placing your forearms, maybe even resting your head on your hands. And then the vertical one, I like to just like hold and hug. So you can just play with the prop placement as well. Allow yourself to explore. Even though we're finding stillness, we're also exploring and playing with our bodies, discovering new ways to move, new ways to feel, keeping it playful. Remember to soften your toes. And remember that we're in these postures in a passive way. So we're always looking for softening, melting. If you notice you're gripping, holding your fingers, your toes, your jaw is tight, release, surrender. Soften the space between your eyebrows. Soften your cheeks, your mouth, and breathe. Redirecting your focus to your breath if you get distracted, if thoughts start coming in, worries, emotions. That's okay. That's going to happen. The mind is going to do what the mind does, jumping from one thing to the next. Let it. And then welcome the breath. In Out. How does this feel in your spine? How does it feel in your body? Couple more breaths here. Mm. Inhale. Very slowly start coming all the way up. Be very gentle, very mindful. Place your props towards the side. And then we're going to go to that seated twist. So bring that right leg, that extended leg, over the left. Planting your foot if you can. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, twist towards the right side. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to twist. Your right hand is planted behind you to give you that anchor, okay, that support. Breathe here. Separate shoulder from ears. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, twist towards the left side. Inhale to lengthen the crown. Exhale to twist. Rinse in the spine. Inhale back to center. Exhale, release the hands down. Okay, so now we're going to stay seated here and we're going to bring our legs extended in front of you. Okay, we're going to move into caterpillar. So again, find your sit bones here, or if you need to sit on something, even if it's your blanket, this might be helpful to lift your hips and help your pelvis tilt forward. See that change right there? So you can keep a soft bend on the knees if needed. Some people might also like bringing a bolster under. And then inhale to bring your arms up. And exhale to start folding over your legs. Breathe here. If you have other pillows or blocks, that might also feel supported here for your head. Breathe. Once you find that stopping point, that edge, that's where you stay, that's where you linger. Beautiful. Breathe. Breathe in your caterpillar, breathe in your cocoon. Softening the feet, the toes. Feeling this flexion of the spine. And as the time goes, your body might start opening up. So you might want to go to the next stopping point. Only if the body invites you to, right? So there's no end goal in the posture. There's no, oh, I need to reach my feet or I need to grab them and pull. Like there's no point A to point B really. Like you're constantly exploring and flowing. So you might maybe here in your caterpillar, maybe you went too far and you kind of take a step back and feel your spine and just find a different stopping point. Or you move forward further into the fold to find that edge. So you're constantly moving in stillness. It's a weird concept sometimes to grasp because people feel like they need to stay frozen and not move. I thought that when I was in my yin classes at first. I thought I wasn't able to move until my teachers, started explaining and I started researching. And then, of course, with the training, and I realized that there's so much motion happening, there's a lot happening. And we have to give ourselves permission to adjust, to flow, to listen, really, to listen to the body. And let the noise, let the ego, let the judgment, the prejudice, and all these things just fall into the background, even if for a moment. All right. On the next breath or two, very slowly start walking yourself back up. Remove any props, any blankets. If you're like me, if you have all the props. And meet me on tabletop, hands and knees. So hands under shoulders, knees under hips, and start moving intuitively here. So we did a lot of folding, and it might feel yummy to articulate the spine in cat cow. So start inhaling, dropping belly button, lifting crown, flicking tailbone. This is cow. Exhaling, belly button to spine, rounding your back, dropping your crown. This is cat. And you can press into your hands, find your ground on your knees and tops of feet. Inhaling cow. Exhale cat. And just move intuitively here. Maybe you do some circles. Moving with the breath. Rinsing all of the folding we did. Wiggling, maybe looking towards your left hip, looking towards the right hip. And once that feels complete, you're gonna lie on your belly. And make sure you have your props next to you just in case. So lie on your belly and then find Sphinx. So bring your forearms to the ground and place them kind of parallel to each other. Elbows under shoulders or slightly forward, and check out. So your legs are extended towards the back of the mat. You're looking forward, shoulder blades are down and back. Check in with your lower back. If this is too much, you can walk your hands forward for less of a back bend. Or it might feel very nice to bring a blanket or a bolster under your chest here to support you. So check in with your lower back and make sure that you're not in pain. And once you find your Sphinx, you can also find some support for your head, maybe a block. Or just let your head dangle if that feels nice. Some people just like staying neutral, looking ahead. So check in with the neck too. Check in to see what feels good. And breathe here. We're coming from a lot of folding, a lot of flexion of the spine. And now we're going to move into a few back bends to extend the spine. Breathe. Separate your shoulders from your ears. Bring your shoulder blades down and back. Remember that you can adjust. Remember that you're always in motion. If you feel a pinch, pain, numbness, that's an indication to come out of the pose. So please, please be always on the lookout. Be very gentle, very mindful of your body, especially when we're working with the spine, with your lower back. You don't have anything to prove here. It doesn't have to look a certain way. You're just here to listen. Relaxing your face, maybe giving yourself a smile. Beautiful work. Breaths here. All right. If you have any props under your chest, slide them off. Lie down on your belly. Have your arms extended and down. Stay here for a moment. On the next inhale, bring your hands under your shoulders. Come on up to tabletop just for a moment. And we're going to move into child's pose, okay? So bring your big toes together, knees wide, and then bring your bum or your hips towards your heels. Arms reach forward, forehead towards the ground, or towards the block if you can't reach the ground. Child's pose. If there's a lot of separation between your bum and your heels, or if there's any discomfort on the knees, you can place a bolster or a cushion under your bum. Breathe. Melting on your mat. Arms can be extended or with their bent elbows, you choose. Remember that we're here passively, we're softening, so try not to engage any muscles in an active way. Exploring. Checking in with your spine. How is it feeling? And the next few breaths start coming up. If you need a sip of water or tea, this is the best time because we're going to move on to lie on our backs. So make sure you have your props next to you, whether it's a block or a cushion, because we're going to move into a supported little bridge. So lie on your back. Feel the ground. And then hug your knees. Bring your knees towards your chest first. And you can rock from side to side, kind of massaging your lower back. Nice. Then we're gonna plant your feet, keeping your knees bent. And make sure they're hip width distance apart, okay? They're not too wide, they're not too narrow. They're right where your hip bones are. Then you're gonna make sure your shoulder blades are tucked in. And you're gonna grab your block or your bolster or your cushion, whatever prop you have available. If you have a block, make sure it's in the lower side. Lift your hips up and then place the block under your sacrum. So your sacrum is that flat part that's under the lower spine. So we don't want to place the block on the lower spine. We want it right where the belt would go. It's a flat part. You're going to feel it. You're going to know when it's right. So check in. Make sure your feet are planted. And then your hands can either stay by your side on your belly, or some people like bringing your arms all the way overhead. If you get any numbness on the arms by having them overhead, then just bring them down. And we're gonna stay here breathing on our little bridge. Feeling that compression on the lower back. Feeling a little bit of back bend here. The extension of the spine. Feeling the chest opening up and making sure your chin is slightly tucked in. So the back of your skull is pressing towards the mat, towards the ground. Feet are planting and grounding as well. Hip width distance. Check in with your knees. Make sure that they're also hip width distance. And breathe in this little inversion. Checking in with the spine. Seeing how it feels as we move into the latter part of our flow. We have about a minute left. If you need more sensation, you're welcome to extend your legs. That's going to increase the sensation in your back bend. And it's also going to stretch your abdomen a bit more. You might need to wiggle yourself a bit to make sure the block is still in the right place. Breathing love in. Exhaling love out. All right. On the next breath, very slowly, if you had your legs extended, bring your feet back, plant them, hip width distance. Bring your arms back if you had them overhead. Plant your feet, lift your hips very slowly, and then slide your block off. Bring your hips back down. And then bring your knees towards your chest. Rock them from side to side. Okay. Now we're going to move into Bananasana. So we're going to go into a banana shape. First, lie on your back as we were before. And then bring your feet together. And move your feet towards the right low corner of the mat. So lower right corner. All the way there until you can't move them any further. But keeping your hips planted. Okay, your hips are rooted, your hips are not moving, they're glued here. Then bring your arms, your hands under your head, as if you were looking at the sky here. Okay. And now use your hands to help your head come all the way to that upper right corner of the mat. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. So here, you're already kind of a banana shape. Your feet can stay like this, or you can bring your left foot over the right foot to clasp it, or your right foot over your left foot to clasp. So check in and see what's better. Arms can stay like this, or they can extend overhead, and you can use your right hand to hold your left wrist. Kind of hold it in place. We're not pulling or forcing the stretch, we're just holding it here. If your arms get numb here, just bring your hands down. Breathe, keeping your hips, your glutes glued towards the ground and feeling that side stretch. Breathing here. We're moving our spine laterally, sort of side bending. This is also a great stretch for the IT band, the sides of your legs, arms, just all the lateral body, the side body. Couple more breaths here. Next breath, we come back to center. Releasing the feet, and then bring your knees towards your chest, just for a moment. Maybe rock your hips from side to side. And then we're gonna move up to the other side. So extend your legs again. Bring your feet towards the lower left corner of your mat this time. Maybe you clasp, maybe you don't. Then bring your hands, interlace your fingers, bring them behind your head here, keeping your hips and your glutes glued towards your mat. Help your head and shoulders wiggle towards the upper left corner of the mat until you can't move any further. Finding that banana shape, okay? Remember, you can clasp right foot over left, left over right, or just keep them next to each other. We're looking up towards the sky, and then the hands can stay here, or they can be overhead, and you can use your left hand to keep your right wrist in place. So remember, we're not pulling or forcing, we're just keeping it in place, kind of giving that support, that anchor point. And then we feel the side body stretch on the right side. Breathe. Remember that if your hands or arms get numb or tingle, you can always bring them down. Checking in with the body, scanning the body, seeing how it feels. Breathe. Remembering your intention. Remembering your breath. Couple more breaths here. Very slowly, start coming back to center. Bringing your knees to your chest, giving yourself a big hug. Oof. Swaying, massaging the lower back. And then you're going to keep your left knee up and you're going to extend your right leg down. And you're going to place your right hand over your left knee. And you're going to help bring it all the way towards the right side for a twist. Your left arm can be in a T shape, a cactus, or you can place it on yourself, on your belly. You can look up or look towards the left for a deeper twist. Might feel nice to have a bolster under that left knee for support. Breathe here into your twist. Getting ready to close the practice. We're twisting and rinsing the spine one more time before we close. Inhaling deeply. Exhaling slowly. Letting all of your energy flow. Letting your breath flow. On the next inhale, come back to center. Bring both knees towards your chest again. Quick hug here. And then extend your left leg this time, keeping your right knee up. Use your left hand to grab your right knee and help it to bring it all the way towards the left side of the room for a twist. Again, having a pillow or a bolster under the knee might feel nice. Left arm can be extended, cactus, or just place your hand on your belly. Try to root that right shoulder as much as possible. You can look up or towards the right for a deeper twist. Soften here. Checking in to see any points where you still might be holding some tension. And let it all go. Breathing some life into this twist. And then on the next breath, coming all the way up. One last hug to your knees here. Or just take anything that you might need before coming to Shavasana. So maybe it's extended the legs. Maybe it's a happy baby. Whatever you need. And then find your Shavasana or corpse pose. Beautiful way to To take Shavasana is having maybe a bolster or a blanket under your knees. And then if you want to be extra cozy, you can just also use a blanket too. To place it over yourself. You get really cozy here. So legs are extended, arms are extended, you're taking space. Soften your gaze or close your eyes. And just surrender to this moment, letting it all go. And checking in with your spine. One more time. How does it feel? Checking in with your intention. And start turning every bit and piece of your body off, like a light switch. Starting from the top of the head, neck, shoulders, arms, hands, fingers, torso, belly, hips, glutes, quads, thighs, knees, shins, calves, ankles, tops of feet, soles of the feet, every single toe. Turning it all on. And before I let you go, I'm going to share a reading from the new Happy. No matter what you have been told, I promise you, you are good. You are deserving of happiness and joy, and you have so much to share with the world. It's time for you to see that too. Take a big breath in and out, and then say these words to yourself. I am worthy, exactly as I am, and nothing I do or don't do will ever change that. I have a great deal to offer others. I am a human being who deserves love and care, and I matter. The world is lucky to have me. Today, I will try to remember these things and embody them in all that I do. So, within the next breath or two, start waking up the body, waking up the toes, the fingers, and come back to this space, finding a comfortable seat, or if you'd like to stay in Shavasana, please do. And wherever you are, take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale, let it all out. Inhale one more time. Bring your hands to heart center and exhale to bow. Namaste. The light in me sees the light in you. Thank you so much for coming. I hope to see you in the next class.